ladies and gents, there's a big difference between building a system and building a system that scales. And I want to share with you a really important mental model that will allow you to think about how to build systems that can actually scale. Okay, now before we get into that, first of all, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Taylor Benturd. I founded an agency called Better AMS when I was 19 years old, and we're on pace to do about $1.8 to $2 million in revenue this year. Hopefully we can hit 10 million in annual revenue in a few years. That'd be exciting. But for now, this is a channel that has hundreds of videos dedicated to helping you scale your agency, start and scale an agency into the 7+ figures, okay? Now let's talk about building systems that scale. The first problem that most founders face when they start a business is how to scale, okay? Then the second problem, once they've achieved and figured out problem number one, is how to keep up with the scale, okay? How to keep up. Now, what does that mean, how to keep up? How to sustain is a better word, but we'll just say how to keep up, okay? So typically what happens is that people build systems that just don't scale. I'll give you a really simple analogy, and I think I've actually, now that we're talking about this, I think I've made a video on this topic before. But let's say that you build a website, and the website currently is getting, 1,000 visitors per month, okay? And let's say for whatever reason, you designed the back end of the website and the server, it's your server, all this stuff. Nobody would ever do this, but I'm just giving you a simple example. Your servers can only give you the capacity to have 2,000 visitors at any given time. Okay, so this essentially system that you've built has the capacity to 2x before it breaks. Okay, so most people when they're building systems allow for a 1 to 2x in terms of the increase. Let's just say, 2x. It's probably an easier way to define this. A 2x in whatever increase would occur in whatever given system that we're talking about. Okay. Now, what you actually want to aim for if you're really trying to rapidly scale is 10x. Now, I don't recommend that everybody goes into building a system thinking about how can I build this system so that it could support 10x what it's currently going to be, what it's going to need to support in the current version of the business right now. Typically, most people don't need to build a system that can sustain 10x. Okay, and when I look at a lot of the systems that I've built in Better AMS, a lot of them can't sustain 10x in terms of just like if the input 10x'd or the output needed to 10x, like we couldn't sustain that. So what it does, though, when you think about how could I build this system so that it can sustain scale at a level of 10x, what it does is it forces you to rethink the system that you're building. And you may have gone in building something where it would have the capacity to 2x, but now that you thought from the beginning, how can I make this thing 10x? Maybe you came up with a solution that allows it to sustain 5x, and it took you the same amount of time to make that system, okay? Now, I'm not joking when I say this. Like, it's hard for me to just give you a real tangible example, but there's been a lot of systems where when I went into it and I was thinking, okay, I think I'm going to build it like this. And then I was like, whoa, hold on. That'd be terrible. Like, just if we were to just increase the output that's needed by a factor of 2, like this whole thing would break. So hold on, let me rethink this. What if I really needed to get like a factor of 10? And how could I build a system that could sustain, a factor of like 10 fold increase in input or output? How could I get that and build that in the same amount of time that I'm trying to build this system for, which we need, which is really only like a 2x increase, right? So I know that I'm talking a bit abstract here. The example I gave you in the beginning was really was a good hard example, but I'll give you some other examples. So Trojan horse marketing is an outbound marketing strategy that we'll use for client acquisition, and this is something that we've recently launched inside of Better AMS. And when I was going to launch this, and keep in mind we've this is technically like a relaunch. There was a lot of things that were restructured so that it would handle a lot more scale. Okay, a lot of things were simplified. There was a lot of friction, which I talked about in another video, if it's already been released, that was reduced to allow for the system to be able to have a greater throughput. So Without further ado, ladies and gents, when it comes to building systems that scale, the simple mental model to keep in your mind is, how can I build this system so that it can sustain, 10x, a 10x increase in inputs that are going into the system? And a basic example of this, like I said, is if you 10x the amount of lead flow that you're getting, does your sales process and team have what it takes to be able to handle that? Does your recruiting system have what it takes to be able to handle going out and hiring all the salespeople? Does your operations has what it takes to be able to deal with these new clients that you're going to be signing, because you have 10x more lead flow, which means the amount of clients that you're going to be able to onboard is much higher? You can start to see how, as you learn how to scale, learning how to keep up really becomes the next bottleneck, because how to scale is all about simply two things, and we've talked about this before: more customers, okay, or more revenue from existing customers. Pretty straightforward. And existing customers, it'll just say existing. So it's pretty straightforward. Like, once you kind of figured this out, or you have a team in place that's focusing around this, you really need to have a team in place that's focusing on more scalable systems, right? That can sustain the increase in growth that you're driving, whether it be through more customers or more revenue from existing customers. Okay, so ladies and gents, pretty simple, straightforward video, a little bit abstract. I apologize if it maybe wasn't 100% clear. Again, it's kind of a hard thing to give real tangible examples for, especially this concept of when you just keep the 10x mental model in mind, you're likely going to build systems that are far better than if you were to just go at a system blindly and think to yourself, okay, I just need to achieve this. No, think bigger, and in thinking bigger, you're likely going to come to a much better system within the same time frame of what you were going to come to had you not thought bigger. Okay, pretty straightforward process and mental model here. If you're new to the channel, again, please hit the subscribe button. If you have thoughts or comments on this video, drop me a comment in the comment section below. Hit the like button. All of these things will help support the growth of this channel. It's the only thing I ask of you to do. And if you wanted some help with scaling your agency, then you can go to agencyenlighten.com and check that out. Or there's I think there might be a link in the description below this video where you can potentially book a call with me to get a free audit of your agency if you're doing over $10,000 a month. I can't necessarily give free audits to people that are doing $1,000 a month or $5,000 a month, because they likely won't be that valuable. And all of these videos on the channel, for those of you who aren't yet doing at least 6 figures a year, this is the value that I can provide to you. Okay, much love, everybody. I'll hope to see you in the next video. Again, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Much love. Ciao.
Friend, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to watch another one that's extremely valuable, I just selected it for you, and you can check it out by clicking it right there on the other side of the screen across from my face. All right, friend, enjoy. Thanks for watching the channel.